I have with me tonight the wonderful, beautiful Ruth Titus from Valparaiso Storage Units. And I heard her talk one time, and I was just amazed and surprised at the details and the goings-ons and the comings and goings of having self-storage units right here in Valparaiso. So, Ruth, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I started out in the banking world and worked in mortgages for a little over 20 years. Worked for a local bank, Fifth Third Bank, and for Horizon Bank, but most of my background's in financial.
So that kind of helps you be good at taking orders and keeping track of the units.
I did mortgages, which is very detailed, so it made it very easy for me to come in and help my husband and do all the financial and paperwork and phone work and whatnot.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to keeping track of all those people and all those units. How many units do you have?
We have 529 units.
Wow, that's a lot to keep track of. That's a lot of names, addresses, and phone numbers.
And email addresses, yes.
And also payments.
And payments, yes.
So, and how long have you been with the storage units?
Mark started those, my husband started those in 1996, so 26 years.
Okay, and then gradually you've increased and grown and gotten bigger and added on and things.
Started with just one building, and as that filled up, he built another one, so we have 16 buildings out there, and that's what makes up the 529 units.
So can you tell people where exactly, how they can find your place?
It's very easy. We're on the east side of Valparaiso in Washington Township. If you go by the bypass and Route 2, where JCPenney's, Myers, Dick's Sporting Goods is at, and you take Route 2 going east, go 1.5 miles, you'll see the railroad tracks. You'll turn right onto 300 North. That's the street that we're on. And 500 feet, you'll see us. We're tan with dark green doors. And
there used to be a landscaping place on the corner.
Correct. Now it is a tree cutting service.
What was the name of that landscaping place?
Samuelson's.
Samuelson's.
Yes.
I think a lot of people will know that. Like Samuelson's, the railroad tracks, the factory, is it Pfizer? Kitty corner from there.
Yes.
So that's really nice. Nice location, I think.
Out in the country.
Easy to get to. Not too far from downtown. Not too far from actually anywhere. And then one thing I was also I actually wanted to ask you at this end, but I'm going to ask you now because I can't wait to hear the answer.
Okay. That's going to be a good one.
How has, you mentioned at one of our meetings that the pandemic has actually helped your business. So how did the pandemic make you busier than normal, you think?
Well, I think it's because, one, you could come out to your storage unit. You were more than 6 foot away from somebody else. It gave an outlet for people to be there, organize their stuff, trade things back and forth. I think it just got people out.
Oh,
that's what they wanted.
You don't think it had anything to do with moving or changing?
Some things were moving. A lot of things are, as COVID evolved and more people were working from home,
they needed more space.
They needed more space. Yeah, there were more things that you brought into the home. You know, I'm sure Amazon was, I mean, my house, it looked like Amazon just threw up, you know, as I threw away the boxes, you know, to make things easier. So, yeah, there were a lot of things that came and, you know, now we got organized.
Kids had to be home too.
Yeah, so you had new spaces, you had to rearrange the house, you know, if your house had that open concept, now you wanted to kind of have your workspace without the kids with the schooling and the other space and try to
I
make
never
everything
thought
work.
about open space. I never thought about that. That's interesting. That's
Yeah.
real interesting. And then you were telling us that you have 13 sizes.
13 different sizes. Real quick, their smallest size is a 5 by 10. Size of a bathroom. It's pretty, I mean, I'm 5'5", and if I reach my hands out, that's how wide it is, and then it's 2 of me long going that way.
And then how tall? Because you can pile things up.
Yeah, you can. They're a vaulted ceiling. At the highest point, they're a little bit more than 12 feet high. So if you have a canoe, you can stick it in the corner, you know, on its end. So, which makes it nice. The next size is a 10 by 10. That's a regular size bedroom, small bedroom. 10 by 15s are master size bedroom. The 10 by 20s are a 1-car garage. And just so you know, my Subaru Outback fits in just fine. Have plenty of room to slide out. And, you know, as long as I park it in the center, I can get out. But I have plenty of room front and back. I can even lift the back hatch in there. The next size is a 10 by 20 with a loft. The loft is nice. It's 6 foot off, a little bit more than 6 foot off of the ground, and it's 10 by 10 above everything. So you can stick your boxes up there, lightweight items up there, and then you have the floor to put other things, like if you have a lawnmower, you know, riding lawnmower that takes up space, you can't stack things on top of it, so it kind of needs its own space. Next size from that, it's a 10 by 25. Some of those have lofts. Then a 10 by 30. That's the width of most of our buildings. These are nice, unique units because they have 2 doors. So you can put garage on one half, house on the other half. We also have the 10 by 30s with a loft to give you a little extra room. Next size up is a 10 by 40, and then a 10 by 40 with a loft. The 10 by 40s also have 2 doors at them, so you can split it up the same way. Or if you have 2 classic cars you need to keep for the winter, they'll fit in there unless they're the real old cars, because those are nice and long.
So you can put something that you're going to need pretty soon right by that one door, and then pack a bunch of other stuff in the middle, and then pack something else by the other door.
Yeah, it all depends on what you're doing. I get a lot of people that right now the house sells and they're building a house,
Right.
so it takes 9 to 10, maybe 12 months depending on how big the house is. So they store everything and then they have a small apartment.
Yeah, a lot of people moving would need your facility, and things change and things don't sell, or red tape happens.
Well, and I also have a lot of businesses, because people can now work from home, they don't need that storefront, but they might need storage for their inventory, like plumbers. Plumbers that come, they rent a unit, they have all of their things in the storage unit that they need. You know, they answer their phone, they go, they collect what they need, and go to their job, and keeps the wife happy.
We were talking earlier that they have 24-hour access to your facility, which is nice. So if they need something, they need to get there at 4 in the morning and to get ready for a job, they can, which is really nice. The way that's set up, I don't know if a lot of other places are set up that way, because you get your own lock, your own key. You can just drive in anytime you want, open the door.
Yep.
And you mentioned plumbers, but there's also other kinds of businesses, aren't there?
Yeah, handyman. They'll put their big stuff, equipment that they need, and then they can just come and pick up that equipment and go to their job site, come back and secure it back into the storage unit again.
And landscapers.
Landscapers can work. Just about anybody who has a build, like a resale shops. Sometimes they only have a certain amount of space, especially with everything going digital and
That's
whatnot.
a good idea.
Yeah. So they have a small space where they show things, but then they have the unit where they have other things where they can take pictures of it and they can post it, and
Mm-hmm.
do the inventory that way. That way they're not renting such a large office
Mm-hmm.
work front shop
But
place.
you'd have to be really organized.
I have
My
a few of them.
stuff, yeah, my stuff would be like all piled on top of everything. Um, now, is there another reason why some people prefer the loft? Is there other uses for those that you can think of?
Some people just like a little bit of extra space. So,
Mhm.
I mean, you want to have enough space to walk around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't want to have to stumble over anything. So, you know, being
Put
able
your
to
small
box-
things up there?
Yeah, I mean, you know, your boxes that you don't think you need, you know,
Mhm.
or your totes or whatever, you know, I always tell people mark everything clearly so you can find it, you know,
Mhm.
so you don't get frustrated going through,
Mm-hmm.
you know, trying to find that one thing that you need, you know, all the soccer stuff for the soccer kids. I know I stuck it in a tote somewhere, it's in here somewhere, so you wanna, you know, make little signs on top and on the side so you can see everything.
Yeah, that's good when you're moving too. That's one of the tips that's in one of our blog posts.
Mhm.
And you mentioned also, it's great for college kids.
College kids, Valparaiso University, I get a lot of the college kids over there who need a space when they move out, instead of having to take it all the way home if they live in New York or California or
Oh.
wherever.
Hmm.
They now have a place to put their stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
I basically know when they're gonna come back, so I just charge them for that part of the summer.
Mhm.
And, you know, it's all paid for, they come, they get their stuff when they come back to school, and everybody's happy.
Oh, yeah, I
Mine
never,
doesn't have to back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
well, yeah, even, you know, 3 or 4 hours away, it would be annoying. So that's a really good idea.
Mhm.
So what are some of the other hobbyists that might be, that you've had?
Hobbyists,
Mhm.
what, in the storage units?
Yeah,
Um,
mostly business?
Mostly businesses, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, I have one guy who does a lot of woodworking stuff, like birdhouses and whatnot. So he will make up all of his woodworking stuff and store it in a unit, and then when he does shows, you know, county shows and whatnot, then, you know, he can pull it all out, go to the show his wares, and hopefully sell it, and then he just kind of just fills up his own unit. Then he's not filling up his garage and making the white
That's a
house.
good idea.
Yeah.
And that would be a business expense.
Yeah, it's a business expense, you get to write it off. It's,
Yes.
you know, it's all very, very good. And you have the other people who use it for seasonal stuff, you
Mhm.
know, may not want to store all of your holiday stuff, you know, in your home. Or if your home doesn't have a basement and an attic, you know, the entrances are kind of, to get up in the attic, are kind of small. So if you have a big tree, you have a hard time going up a ladder and shoving it in. So having a small storage unit, then you have all of your holiday stuff there, and you can organize it. You put the one holiday away, take out another holiday.
That's true.
And, you know, seasonal stuff for people too. During the winter, they store their patio furniture,
Mhm.
pool stuff, all the bikes, you know, so the bikes aren't in the garage falling on the car, scratching the car, making
Mhm.
mom or dad mad.
Mhm. And boats.
And boats, yes, storage of boats, storage of convertible cars and whatnot.
Motorcycles.
Motorcycles, yes, motorcycles, most definitely.
Yeah, motorcycles is a big one because you can't drive it in the winter.
No, not advisable. A little chilly.
Not advisable. So, what's one of the strangest things that has happened?
Strangest things that happen.
Can you tell us one time there was somebody that got stuck?
Oh yeah, sometimes when the forecast says snow, and we live here in Northwest Indiana, sometimes we get it, sometimes we don't. But for the safety factor, if you have your snow blower, you stored it for the summer,
Mm-hmm.
and they start predicting snow, it's probably a good time to get that out before the snow hits. because, like, 16 buildings, we have 16 acres and half of it is developed. So it takes a little bit for us to plow everything out.
Yeah.
So we get that 12 to 16 inches of snow
Right.
piled on us, and then you're like, oh, snow blowers in the storage unit, I better go and get that. As you drive through all the drifts in order to get to my storage unit, I will guarantee you there's probably still drifts and high snow in the storage units, and yeah, getting stuck and pulling people out with the backhoe because they got stuck getting their snow blower. It's the fun part. I always wait to see, and then it's so exciting. People laugh at me because before the snow, if I see someone come in and they get their snowblower, I'm like, high five.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, thank you for coming in before the snow fell to get your snowblower so you can get out of your driveway and get to the grocery store and not have to get stuck with us. So,
yeah, that's kind of something that most people don't have to deal with. I mean, that's what I thought was so interesting was some of the things that you come across and you have to deal with. I mean, these are people's lives that you're storing. So you run into a lot of different characters and a lot of different lifestyles and some people actually probably don't even live here, right?
Yeah, I mean, like the college kids, they just need some place to store their stuff for just a little while. Or if they are moving from state to state, moving from another state to us, and they need to store stuff until they find a house.
Yeah.
I get those also.
Yeah, people transferring here for the first time, either freshmen or whatever. They might be transferring from, community college. So then we were, a lot of people are familiar with the TV show. I've never seen it, but I've heard about it. The TV show Storage Wars.
Oh yes, unit sales.
Do you watch those and laugh?
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of them because I'm like, okay, some of this is just too much. But you have to remember that Storage Wars happens on the West Coast and on the East Coast. It doesn't happen in
Right. I know.
the middle of the country.
But I just love the term. It's so cool. I just love to say it. And people can relate, because of the show. But you do have your own version of a storage war.
Yeah, unit sales. So when somebody hasn't paid, they do get a 90-day letter that their items can be sold on a certain date and they need to pay up. That letter usually generates a lot of people to call and get things settled. So usually it's something happened in their life and things kind of got a little derailed and they just need a reminder that oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to pay. Let's go ahead and do that, and then we're good to go. Most people pay up. The storage units, I usually don't have to sell very many during the year.
But you do.
I do sell them, yes.
So,
and I do have people, it goes out in the paper 10 days before the unit sale. I post it in the paper so they can see that there's a unit sale. People will come. We do raise the door. You're not allowed to go in. You get to bid on everything that's in there, and the highest bid wins. Depending on how big the unit is, we usually give them, the max is usually 5 days.
So, but they have to bid on the whole thing.
Yes.
And they have to take the whole thing.
They have to take the whole thing.
Without actually seeing what's in there.
Yeah, because I mean, it's just all boxes, so they're just guessing what could be in there.
And you don't give them a clue, like
Oh, I have no idea what's in there. I mean, look through it.
Like you could say, well, a plumber did have this facility.
I tell them how big the unit size is. They'll ask me how big it is, and that's how much stuff they get to go through. So it's either a 5 by 10, 10 by 10. Bigger units are the 10 by 20, so like a garage full of stuff, or larger, they get to go through.
So do you actually have people bidding and.
They bid, and it's not.
Keep going back and forth, who has the most, like an auction kind of.
Yeah, I mean, the exciting ones are the ones you can actually see, like if somebody left one of the big tall tool.
Those tool shed,
Yeah.
whatever those things are called.
Toolboxes. There we go. So, I'll push it and see if it moves, because it won't move if it's full. And most of the time they're locked. I'll even pull on it to see. I'm like, well, it's locked, but you guys get to bid. So tools are a big thing. So if somebody leaves tools, that'll get something going. But you don't always get that. I mean, you get the washer and dryers that are sitting there, have no idea if they work. Old freezers, have no idea if that works. Somebody's old couch. Okay, you guys get to bid on that and all the boxes and totes that are in there. So.
That's interesting. And so you said you have these about once every 2 months, or
yeah,
about?
Yeah, we probably have at least 8 a year that I'll schedule. I mean, a lot of people pay up, and then I don't even have to have the unit sale.
So. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. But so, is it always a new person that comes out for the auction?
No, I have my regulars.
You have your regulars?
Yeah, I have my regulars. Just like on the show, there's the regulars. You get used to them. They're the people that have retail shops and stuff.
Right.
So they're looking for things.
Resale shops?
Yeah, resale shops. So they're, they'll, the washer and dryers, refrigerators. I mean, if they don't work, maybe they can part them out to something they have or whatever. So. Yeah.
Do you let them know? You send out an email list?
But I have no idea what's in the unit.
I know.
I opened it up.
Do you send out an email list?
Oh, no. But you have to watch.
They know?
Yeah, you have to watch your paper. They know to call and ask. And they usually ask me if we do a unit sale, they'll ask me when the next one is. And I'll tell them. And they'll usually call and see how many units do you have going and what sizes are they. And I'll let them know. I'll let them know if it's canceled too, and then they ask me when the next one is. So I always know when the next one is.
Oh, I see.
So they keep up that way.
So you have your regulars there.
Yes.
So is there something else that you have? Is there any questions on Facebook? And did you have one question?
What's the strangest thing you've seen stored?
The strangest thing stored. I'm not sure if I can say it. So you asked.
Just mention a strange thing.
Strange things that get stored.
Like a Yeti or something like that, or a stuffed animal, big buffalo, or...
Yeah,
Antiques?
yeah, there's a lot of antiques that get stored. I don't know why they store them and not come back for them. Obviously something happens. But I don't know if they forget about the unit and whatnot, and can't
Who
reach
knows?
them. They move, they change their phone number, I can't get a hold of them. I try every way that I can, but sometimes I can't get a hold of them, and things happen. But but we get all sorts of things. I mean, people will store, old cars in there that have flat tires, and you have to, get a tow truck to pull them out and whatnot. So, but hey, if you buy it, it's yours. You get to do all that neat stuff.
So was there something else, you had made your own notes to bring today. Did you have something on there that you wanted to add? Well, first of all, we need to add the phone number, the website. She does have a Facebook page. And the new logo and the Facebook page is really nice. Nice pictures.
Thank you.
Valparaiso Self Storage.
Self-Storage is the full name. The website is valparaisostorage.com. On the website, you can do most everything. You can reserve a unit, whatever size you need. You can make payments online.
Oh, nice.
Once you're set up in a unit, we can make it so it does an automatic draw on a credit card. I tell people whoever you get your most points with, you know, making purchases, put that card on and you automatically get all of your purchases and points. We have a month-to-month contract, which is nice. We don't lock you in for
that's
6
nice.
months or a year. We have no minimum time frame. There's no deposit and no setup fee.
Wow, you are nice.
We are very nice, and I even prorate you when you move in. So if you're not using it for the full month, I charge you for what you use. So we're very fair on all of that, and just ask that you know, try to keep everything nice and up to date. The driveways to get around the storage units are very wide. You can actually put 2 semis side by side in our driveways, so it makes it easy for all the big moving trucks. Or if you need a truck to, you know, drop its trailer there, so you can unload it, and then the guy comes and picks the truck back up. That's fine. You just stick it in the.
So you've had big moving trucks get through there and
Yeah.
either pick up or drop off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so they can put everything in there. On the website, there's a map to be able to find us. There's also a map to see all of the units, so once you pick a unit, you can look on that to see where your unit is inside of our
It's just like a campground.
platform. Yeah, it's like a camp. It is like a campground. That's what I said. It's like a campground. All you gotta do is find the number, and you're good to go. Let's see. We do have office hours. You can't access me 24 hours a day, but you can access the facility.
Right.
I need a life. So Monday through Friday we go 9 to 5. Saturday we do 9 to noon, and then Sunday we're closed. I am open, you know, if you work late, you know, strange hours, I'm open, you know, to help you out when I can. You just have to give me a call and ask.
And what's the phone number?
The phone number is 219-464-0363.